Part 3. The Preface. All sutras may be divided into 3 parts. 1. The Preface. 2. The Principle Proper. And 3. The Transmission. The Preface discusses the sutra's general meaning, the Principle Proper discusses its doctrines, and the Transmission instructs us to transmit the sutra, to propagate it and make it flow, like water, everywhere. The Preface is like a person's head, and the Principle Proper is like his body. Just as our organs are very clearly arranged within our bodies, so are the doctrines clearly set forth within the sutras. The Preface may also be called the afterword. Isn't that a contradiction, you ask? It is not a contradiction because it wasn't spoken by Shakyamuni Buddha himself, but was added later when Ananda and Mahakasyapa edited the sutras. It may also be called the arising of Dharma preface because it sets forth the reasons the sutra was spoken. It is also called the certification of faith preface because it proves that the sutra can be believed. In the preface, 6 requirements are fulfilled. They are 1. Faith, 2. Hearer, 3. Time, 4. Host, 5. Place, and 6. Audience. Sutra. Thus I have heard. At one time the Buddha dwelled at Sravasti, in the Yeta grove, in the garden of the benefactor of orphans and the solitary, together with a gathering of great bhikshus, 1250 in all great arhats whom the assembly knew and recognized. Commentary. Thus fulfills the requirement of faith. I have heard fulfills the requirement of the hearer. At one time fulfills the requirement of time and the Buddha is the host. Sravasti, in the garden of the benefactor of orphans and the solitary fulfills the requirement of place. The gathering of great bhikshus fulfills the audience requirement. Because all 6 requirements are fulfilled, we know that the sutra can be believed. Thus I have heard. What does thus mean? Thus fills the requirement of faith. You can have faith in Dharma which is thus, not in Dharma which is not thus. Thus designates the text as orthodox Buddhadharma. Thus means it is thus. Thus is stillness. It is denotes movement. If it is thus, it is. If it is not thus, it is not. Whatever is not non-existent exists. Whatever is without error is correct. Thus means still and unmoving. Thus is true emptiness. It is as wonderful existence. Wonderful existence is not apart from true emptiness. True emptiness is not apart from wonderful existence. Emptiness and existence are non-dual, both empty and existing, neither empty nor existing. This Dharma can be believed. The 4 words, thus I have heard, begin all Buddhist sutras. It is thus. If it were not thus it would not be correct. This is the doctrine, and Dharma which is thus can be believed. I have heard. Ananda says that he himself personally heard this teaching. But, having given proof to the fruit of arhatship, basically Ananda has no ego. How can he say, I have heard? This is the self of no self. Ananda says, I have heard, in order to be comprehensible to ordinary people, who have a self. Heard fills the accomplishment of the hearer. Why does one have faith? Because one has heard. If one hadn't heard, how could one have faith?